Hi, I'm Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I am here with Vanessa Christensen.
Hi.
And we, Missouri Star Quilt Company, went on the road and we came to Iowa to meet Vanessa. We're here in her kitchen. This is so much fun. Vanessa has a wonderful blog called V & Company, or V & Co, I guess it is. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And Jacob happened to go on the blog one day and see this awesome pleated pillow and wanted to reproduce that. Vanessa, tell us about how you came up with this.
Well, as you know, I have 3 boys before I have my little girl, and it's really easy to sew ruffles and whatever
Yep.
for little girls. So my boys always feel like they get gypped out of getting things made for them. So I tried to come up with something that was still along the lines of what I really like, which is texture, and something more manly. So I figured pleating would probably be the best thing to do.
Pleating is a great idea.
And I came up with using this. This is the Silent Film by Kona Solids, and it's just a jelly roll. And so it's actually not even using a full jelly roll. So you can actually make multiple pillows just from one jelly roll.
What did you tell me? I read that you could make 3 of them?
Yes.
From a jelly roll? That's awesome. 3 pillows?
Yes.
See, let's show a couple of other ones that we put together. We've got down here, we've got this cute little one that we did with some patterns and some grays and whites, really cute. And then this one is kind of a, just a kaleidoscope of colors.
Yeah, actually on my Flickr group, there's been a lot of people showing just using all different colors of fabrics, and it's amazing what just one idea, when you just do different colorways, it turns out really cool.
Okay, so what you're going to need to make this pillow is you're going to need a piece of background fabric, and I cut mine is 18 by 20, but really these pillows can be made any size you want, and so it's a really, a scrap, a fat quarter, whatever you want to do, actually a fat quarter is perfect size, isn't it? Because that's about the right size. Right. And you'll need a jelly roll. You're going to need a ruler and a pen, and we're using these friction pens because if you make a mistake with your lines like I did yesterday, you can just quickly iron them off. You'll also need a scissor and a rotary cutter so that you can cut our strips are cut. We'll cut the ends of them and we'll trim off the sides. So we're going to open up this jelly roll, and most of you who know me know color. I am not very good at picking colors, so I let a designer do that. Hence, we got her. She's good at color, and so she's going to go through this. This is one of those Bella Solid Warm jelly roll, it's called, and she's going to go through and pick some colors that she likes.
I just think that the blue and the green looks so beautiful together, and if we do maybe the white along with it.
Oh gosh, that is going to be pretty.
I think that would it reminds me of kind of like the beach.
Yeah, that's going to be really pretty.
So I think if we use maybe the blues and the greens and the whites in it, and if we need more strips, then we can always add like a little bit of a splash of a color as well. But
yeah.
I think there's
a couple more blues and greens in there too.
Perfect.
Hiding.
Perfect.
It doesn't take really very many to.
No, you only need 3 strips. For the pillow that I have on my website, you only need 3 strips of each colorway, and you'll need 5, I believe. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors. But if we're doing just, let's say, 3 colors, then you would just need more strips of the one color. And so separating them, I think that would look really beautiful.
That is going to be really pretty. Oh, it's so nice to have somebody make that choice for me. Okay, so we have to get this cloth ready to do it. So what is it we're going to do here?
Okay, so I started off with drawing lines. The first one, the bottom one, is going to be 1 1/4 inch from the bottom edge. Okay. So draw your line, your first one, 1 1/4 up. Now, to overlap your pleats and that so it doesn't show your sewing, your stitch, you will want to only go 3/4 of a line up from your first line.
Oh, okay. So the first one is 1 1/4, and then from then on we're going to do 3/4 of an inch. Yeah. Okay, so let me see here. Get that all nice and straight. There we go. I love these friction pens. I was trying to get one ready to do, and I read the 1 1/4, and so I marked the whole thing 1 1/4. It wasn't what I was supposed to do, but because this pen, when you use it, you can just it's removable with heat, and so you can just erase that with an iron. So I was very fortunate with that.
Yeah, I'm really excited to use that pen.
I think every 2-year-old should have a pen, one of these pens, so that when they color on the walls, you know, you can just you can just iron them off or blow dry them off. Heat takes it off.
Yeah, that'll be great.
It's very, very fun. Okay, so then what you want to do is you just want to do 3/4 inch lines all the way up till you get to the top of your fabric. Whatever size it is, you just need those 3/4 inch lines. So I'll keep doing that, and we'll get back to you in just a sec. Okay, so now I've drawn all my lines on here, and I'm up to the very last one, and it looks like I have about 1/4 inch left. Is that right?
Yes, because when you do your seam, then you'll actually not grab the last pleat.
Perfect. All right, so now here's what this looks like. See, it's I have my lines drawn on, and that is what we're going to lay these pleats on, correct?
Yes. So I've separated these into 5 colors. So, and you can't really actually tell that there's too much of a difference, but there really is. I think that will be a very beautiful, subtle change in color to the very last one. Like, it really reminds me of like sea glass. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take scissors, and I'm just going to really easily, because the line is already there, cut it, and each strip will make 2 pleats.
Okay, and so then you want me to...
Go ahead and fold it in half lengthwise.
Okay, and iron it?
Uh-huh.
All right.
And we'll do that to all of these strips.
Okay, so will you cut and I will iron. There we go.
As a matter of fact, can you just come and hang out with me every so
I know,
so, like,
I was just thinking that. It's so nice to have a cutter.
Yeah, it's really nice to have someone else do the other part of it. Yeah, so we'll just go through each individual strip, and then each individual strip becomes a pleat when you fold it in half and iron it. While she's ironing, I'll show you. This is your bottom right here. Your bottom is the 1 1/4, and the top is just the 1/4, the leftover on the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by placing your first strip just right up to your drawn on line. We've already ironed all of them up, and so now we need to decide how we want them to lay on the pillow. I think what a really good way of doing, kind of like the other one that I had done, is go from the darker on the bottom and then lead up to the lighter. So if you can see this, there's actually just a slight variation in these 2 greens, and then there's a slight variation on these 2 kind of like aqua-y blue. And then we'll lead up to the white.
The cream.
The cream, sorry, cream, the cream. So I don't think this one's that one, I think that one goes there. Okay, so I'm gonna start off first with this kind of bluish aqua looking, sea glassy looking one. And we're going to do the 5 of them.
Okay, and so we'll have one left.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, we have one left,
okay.
Always. Wow, sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to do 5, and then the next group we're going to do the same color, but then we'll go with the lighter shade. And then what I think what would be fun to do is the darker color of the green right here, and then we'll go with the lighter green next. I think that's going to look really pretty. And then we'll end with the cream on the top. Do you think that's?
I think that's going to be beautiful.
I think that'll be pretty. Okay, so let's go and start with, keep these separated. Okay. And we've cut 6, but we only need 5. So if you don't mind grabbing one from each pile, that'll be great.
Okay, so we'll sew these on and we'll see you back here.
All right, so we've sewn on our first strip. Now for our second strip, we're going to line it up again to the next line. And again, it's longer, but there is no salvage on this one, so it really doesn't matter where you start on that one. I just wanted to kind of butt up against the first. So I've set it up that we're going to do the next one, and we're going to do 1/4 of an inch. I just always guide the strip as I move along, just so that it makes sure it's up next to the line.
And you use 5 strips of each color to get this look.
Yes.
That's so fun. Really, you can do anything. You can, you know, I mean, it's up to your
Taste.
Your taste and your artistic leeway.
You can do all one solid color. You can do all different patterned fabrics. I tend to be much more on the simplistic side of things, and so I always tend to play more with color than I do with pattern. But pattern is a lot of fun. It'd be a great thing to use a pattern that ties the colors on your front for the back.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Okay. Okay. There we have the next one, which was done. And so that's your 1/4 of an inch seam versus the just kind of closer to the edge. Really, there's no big difference. I just like to do it closer to the edge. Now we're going to continue to do all of the rest of the strips, at least these next 5 ones, and then we'll move to the next color after that.
Okay, so we finished sewing on all these pleats and it's beautiful, but I'm just not sure about this right here.
Yeah, I am having a little bit of a hard time with the cream. I don't think it really flows with the rest of the pillow. So I think what we've decided is that we're going to not use the white, and we're going to actually end the pillow with the top green, with the light green that we have on the top. So what we've already done is we've cut off
the rest of the pillow. We just cut it off.
We did. We cut off the rest of the pillow, which is what's great is that there's no real set dimension on this one that we started. We were just going with the flow. And so we've decided to cut 1/4. What we need to do is cut 1/4 of an inch above the last line of that.
And that's for your seam?
Yes,
okay.
for the seam. Okay, and then now what we're going to do, you can take that.
Okay, we'll get rid of that white.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to use this last green strip, which is the 5th one, because we were doing 5 up along the way, is we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam along the end, and then we're going to open it up and press it.
And this is going to be like the cap strip?
Yes, the last one. So you don't want this last edge to be raw, so we're going to make it look really nice and solid.
Nice and finished.
Finished. Seam in my words.
This is so gorgeous. I love how this looks.
I think it turned out really nice. Okay. Okay, so we have a 1/4 inch seam, and now what I need you to do is to press it open.
Okay.
Press it like this so that we have a nice little edge there.
A little cap. All right, so we're just gonna, you want me to open up this seam then?
Yes.
All right.
So it'll lay flat better.
Okay, so we're gonna iron this open. Sometimes easier said than done. But our little point of our iron is braving the way. All right, there we go. Kind of keep it in the middle.
Yep.
And the reason we're opening this is so that it will just lay flatter, is that right?
Yeah, so that it'll lay flatter, and so that it gives you a nice flat seam.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. My seam's wanting to wander. Let me see here if I can get this end. There we go. I'll pull that toward the middle a little bit. Well, it's a good thing this seam's going to be hidden.
It's okay.
There we go.
Good. Okay, so now we have this right here, and we want to make sure that we cover that last seam. You can, because we haven't really been sticking to too much of a measurement on, you know, with our lines and stuff like that. We're going to just kind of, even though we're not butting up right against that line, we're going to just make sure the main thing that we're focusing on is to cover that seam.
Do you want me to draw another line?
Yeah, that might be good.
Okay, so we could put a line that's 1/4 inch in.
Yeah.
Because it might have just been that my my lines were off. But this is what's cool about these projects, is that you just make it work, and you make it, you know, like for instance, we may have, you may want to make it to fit a certain size spot you're putting it in. Like if you have a chair that you want it to fit in exactly, then you know, you could make the pillow fit what area you want it to go.
Right.
So now we have a line. It's always easier, I think, to sew with a line, don't you?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, and here, this one, I like to do a smaller seam allowance because it gives it a very nice, clean finish when we sew it on. And this one will be the scant stitch.
So you're going to top stitch this basically right along this edge? Okay,
Yep,
perfect.
There we go. Top stitch it. So let's move this over real quickly.
There you go.
I'm going to top stitch.
And people just love to top stitch on camera, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm glad it's you.
Yeah, whatever. And I'll figure out where you live.
That's right. Oh.
Okay. Okay. I like to line it right inside that little little dip on my
Right, gives you a
foot.
little guide.
That way it gives you a little bit of a line there to follow.
And you can match your thread for your color as well.
Yes. Actually, in my tutorial on my site, I do actually change threads throughout the project so that the lighter threads go with the lighter fabrics, and then of course the darker ones have the really dark ones. And this way, that way, it also makes sure that you don't see your stitch very easily.
You did a very good job. That's really beautiful.
I'm kind of surprised it turned out that good.
You just never know.
All right, so there we have the top stitch.
The finished top, look at that. It's beautiful.
But it looks kind of wonky because we're still not completely done. So what we're going to do next is we're going to turn it over, and with our rotary cutter and our
Ruler.
we're going to cut off the excess.
So we're just going to line it up with our fabric edge. Okay. Because from the back you can see that very easily.
Yes.
And then to finish this, because we now have an undetermined size.
Right.
You know, we'll just cut. We can use this as the pattern for the back as well.
Right.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to move all these threads out here so they all get trimmed off at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot of threads there.
That's how we do it. All right, so let me do those. Oh, lay that down. You might have to do a little bit of trimming. There we go. Alrighty, so let's just trim that off.
Okay.
Collect these a little bit. Be very careful doing that. There we go.
Okay, so when we turn it around, you get a really pretty, like,
That's so
an
pretty.
idea of what your pillow is going to be looking like.
So now we have our finished pillow here, and because we trimmed it, it's a different size than our back, and we've got this yellow piece here so that you can see the contrast all the way around. And what we're going to do then is we're going to put right sides together like this, and we're going to go ahead and trim right around this pillows so that they're exactly the same size. And so let's go ahead and do that. And I have this little mat, so it'll just take a minute longer, but basically on this side what I'm doing is I'm cutting the selvage off, and I'm cutting right up to the edge where the pillow is. Let me get that piece right there. And then I'm going to turn this, and I think what I'll do is scoot this down right to the edge so that I have one less side to cut, because that cut is straight. And then I'll move this over here and trim this off. So to attach your top to your back, you're going to go ahead and stitch 1/4 inch across the top and down the sides, and then you're going to come across here and leave, what, about a 6-inch opening, you think?
Right. But while you're, for the bottom one, I just want to make sure that you, if you don't want your pleat to be sewn in, it'll be fine if it is sewn in. I just personally left it, I wanted it to be free. So I actually pushed in my pleat just ever so slightly, so that when I did do my 1/4 inch seam, it did not get caught in.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so let's look at the one you've got there, so we can look at the bottom of that pleat.
And then here's the pleat. So you can see how it was.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit on the edge, and then in the middle.
This is free.
And then this is her hand sewing right here, where you're going to put all the fluff.
Yes.
And fill it out to the size that you want it, and then hand stitch it closed.
Yes, hand stitch it closed.
And then finished, it looks like this. So.
Yes. And I think the green one's going to look really pretty too.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful. I can hardly wait to get it all together and get the back on it. So this is the final pillow. I think this is just gorgeous. The green one's beautiful also. Yes. So let's take another look at that. This is how our green one's going to look. I'm just going to go ahead and scoot this out of the way. So this is how our green one's going to look. So we hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to make a pleated pillow with Vanessa Christensen from the Missouri Star Quilt Company.